Pittsburgh Steelers fans, thank you for joining us for another Wednesday episode of the Pump Your Brakes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Tate, sitting here with the other co-host, my triple OG, triple OG homie, whatever big name Big G just made up and gave him, Shannon White.
Yep.
The other homie, actually a homie from the Homie Podcast, the little fella, Big G, the oxymoron. What's up, gentlemen?
What's crack-a-lackin' Tate, man? I'm ready to get this thing pumping. It's T-minus and whatever. It's time. It's go time. 53-man rosters coming. Last preseason game. It's time to go. Let's go.
That's why I revved the engine up, man, because it's go time.
It's go time.
What's up with you, Shannon? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to this all day.
Man, you must be ready to drop some nuggets you've been looking for and waiting on it all day.
All day.
Hey man, the triple OG triple. He's always ready to roll, dog. The triple, he ready to go. Let's go, Trip. Let's do what we do, man.
Okay, what's up to everybody in the live chat? Let's get it started just by shouting out some of you guys. Claude, per usual. West Hickok, Afton. What's that? Is that Still McBeaman?
Yep.
Yeah, still McBeaman in the house. What's cracking?
I was questioning my glasses. Matt Smith. Everybody in the live chat, what's crack-a-lacking, as Big G would say.
Yes, sir.
All right, fellas. Well, we got a few topics to talk about, man. The first thing we're going to talk about is what we want to know from Steeler Nation in the live chat. Already, there's some talk about it. You can think so or not think so. If you think a first-round rookie is supposed to start immediately and he doesn't start or doesn't win that positional battle, that he's a bust. Let's remember Kenny Pickett didn't start till, was it game 5 last year? He started?
Game four.
Well, he started game 5.
Right, started game 5. Yeah. Came in game 4 against the Jets.
Yeah.
But who we going to talk about today is one first-round draft pick. We only had one this year, so you know who we talking about.
Yes, sir.
One Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Broderick Jones? Shannon, you go first. Tell us what you think. Is he not meeting your expectations yet?
Well, earlier in the day when me and you started discussing this topic, I wanted to kind of gauge the community's thoughts about him because when he was drafted, I kept hearing certain parameters, whether he was going to be a success or not. And one of them was if he's the first round pick that they moved up into the top 15 to get, then he has to start to be considered a successful selection. I don't know if they meant at some point this rookie season or to start his rookie season. To me, he's not been a bust in any way. He has been everything that I thought he would be. It could be. He's just a little raw, and his run blocking is, light years ahead of his pass blocking at this time. And he's give up a sack in both games where I think he just truly got beat. But it's a little bit of technique issue, and I think that's easily he'll be able to clean that up, no problem, because his intensity, his athleticism, everything about him screams starting left tackle for a decade in the NFL. So I just think that I wanted to kind of gauge the community's opinion because I kept hearing that statement made and reading it that if he doesn't start, then he will be a disappointment. And I also want to see what y'all had to think about it.
No doubt about it, Shannon, man. This is the conversation. This is the truth of the matter. The issue is probably in most opportunities or most places he'd have a chance to start. But the issue has been the effort of Dan Moore.
Yes.
Dan Moore has put in time, energy, effort, working on his body, working on his technique. He came to play this year at camp. So the deal was In any other situation, you run the guy out there because he's a first-round draft pick. But in this scenario, you don't do it because the guy that was there knew he was on alert, and it was either time to play or time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't want to get cut. He didn't want to get traded. He didn't want none of that stuff going down. So Dan Moore was like, you're not taking my spot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come in here and earn it, which, again, iron sharpens iron. So you get these guys that are in there fighting for a position, and the effort of Dan Moore has solidified the left tackle for now. Now, up the road, does he take it? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. But Dan Moore has had an outstanding preseason, outstanding offseason, and I think he's ready to go at left tackle. So I'd rather have two than one, and we definitely got two.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I mean, I don't think I don't think Broderick Jones is a bust or a failure. I mean, the raw talent is there. Out this 2023 draft, you had Paris Johnson and you had the kid from Northwestern, Doronsky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys were rated really high. I mean, I think Broderick Jones was maybe ranked the third tackle by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he has the highest ceiling, the best upside, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
So he only started 19 games at Georgia. He started the tail end of the first national championship season, and then he started all the games last season at Georgia.
Correct.
So I mean, I think there's a lot to work with there. You don't have to rush him there. I mean, Dan Moore did step his game up big time.
Yeah.
He worked during the off season, worked diligently and hard.
Yeah.
And he changed his body. He's leaner now. His footwork is probably going to be better because he's leaner and more athletic. The build is. So I like that. What I think happens is I do think at some point, just because Broderick Jones is higher pedigree, I think maybe like after the bye or sometime in the second half of the season, Broderick Jones starts. But I know the Steelers like Chooks, but I do think next year they will probably move Dan Moore to right tackle and save some money on Chooks, and then have a young guy in Dan Moore and a young guy in Broderick Jones being both the bookie and tackles for the future. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But tell you what a great problem to have. The great problem to have is that we got two guys. We all know how long the season is, man. Now, we're hoping that we get no injuries, but the reality of that is that we're going to have an injury here or there. There's going to get a guy banged up, a guy hurt, something's going to happen. So it's a luxury to have a rookie first-round talent that is not a bust sitting in the chamber, just in case you got to flip Dan Moore to the right because Chooks has an injury and slide him in at left or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's ready to go. So like I said, I'd much rather have two than one. And left tackle is a hard position to have in the NFL, without a shadow of a doubt. And then we got two.
And there's the motivational factor when it comes to Okorafor. Because a lot of times, one of the things that frustrated me about Okorafor is that he didn't have the intensity to sustain his block through the whole play and try to pancake his guy. Last year we seen him for the first time jump on a guy after he blocked him and got him on the ground. And I think he got a penalty even, but I like that intensity and playing through the whistle. And this should only motivate him even more, knowing that his seat could be a little warm if he don't perform.
I definitely think Chooks has developed and turned himself into a really good right tackle. He was going to be the left tackle before Zach Banner got hurt a couple years ago, and they just threw Dan Moore at left and moved Chooks to right. I think Chooks is more of a finesse player, and I think the new identity of the Steelers and Andy Weald, I think they want road raiders up front.
Yeah,
they want guys that's going to block through the whistle, and be kind of a nasty offensive line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you know Trent Williams, I know Trent Williams from when he was out here with the Washington Redskins at the time. Seen him out a few times, talked to him. He's a nasty dude, man. Even not even playing football, he's
right.
a nasty dude.
Yeah.
And he's huge.
That's
So
right.
I think they want that type of mentality with this new wave offensive line. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Tay.
So yeah. So okay, so we all agree on that. So now let's analyze, break down the tomorrow night's game. Tomorrow night's game, I believe, is supposed to be played on NFL Network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does it come on? Is it the 8:00 game?
7:30, I think.
7:30. Okay.
7:30 kickoff. Yep.
Okay. So we're going down to the ATL, Big G.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if Pay going to the game. Pay down there in the ATL. We should send him live. You know,
Is he
live.
in hot Atlanta?
That's where he's at.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
He's
ATL.
a Chicago boy. He moved to Atlanta about 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, he's in Atlanta. So let's talk about the game. I don't even know if Atlanta plans on playing his starters, but I think Atlanta, because the Steelers are going to play starters at least for a little bit, right? That's what Tomlin said, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan as of today. Yes, sir.
So we went in there and we beat them last year. I think, was Marcus Mariota still the quarterback last year?
Yes.
Yeah, he started. Yeah.
Okay, well, he's since moved to Philly to back up Jalen Hurts. But I think Atlanta proposes an intriguing challenges with their skill position players.
Yeah, definitely.
They have a lot of good skill position players. We're looking at a graphic with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, the recently drafted Bijan Robinson, the backup quarterback, Taylor Heineke. He's a solid backup.
Yeah.
And Desmond Ritter's going to go ahead and start. But, just matchup based with these players we see on the screen, let me just get it started. I like to see how the Steelers hold up in the run game against Bijan Robinson and the ILBs, the off-ball linebackers, can cover him and Kyle Pitts. And I want to see Joey Porter Jr. match up with Drake London.
Oh, good call.
What are you guys thinking about?
Well, the first thing that I want to see is it's time for Najee to get it going.
Yep.
So I want to see Najee in this first. He ain't got to play, but maybe the first 2 drives.
Mm-hmm.
But I need Najee to get 7 carries for 50-some yards, make a guy look retarded, either by truck sticking him or juking him, and be ready to roll. Because I think that's the only thing from an offensive standpoint that's been from a hesitancy. Because, and I'm going to talk about this later on, we might have the second coming of Maurice Jones-Drew and Jalen Warren. We might have the second coming. This kid is ready to roll. So if Najee goes out and he handles his business, I ain't worried about nobody else on offense. Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Austin, Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Pickens, we're ready to go. The line's ready to go. So I just need Najee to come and do his thing. And I want to see him punish Atlanta. Let's just hand the ball off 4 straight times, hit him for 40-something yards and score. And then Najee get up and look around and be like, okay, now everybody on the squad is ready to go for game 1 in week 1. That's what I'm looking for. Shannon, go, bro. It's on you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Shannon.
Okay, man. Yeah, I agree totally, Big G. I wanted to kind of see it last week, but Najee didn't really play, and Warren hit that 62-yarder. So they didn't get a chance to establish the running game and show what they could do because they scored so fast. Yeah. So I agree. I'd like to see Harris get multiple carries in that first quarter if they play 2 drives or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to see them. That long run by Warren was as beautifully blocked outside zone that you will ever see.
In a long time.
People miss the fact that Samalu and Daniels not only hit their initial chip, but got to the second level and turned both inside linebackers, and that gave Warren that lane.
Yep.
And then we've seen Deontay Johnson blocking downfield.
Yep.
So it's a group effort, and that's the only real question mark is how much has this offensive line really improved, which we know it has with Samalu, but we want to see it. Yep. And that we'll feel better about week 1 against the 49ers if Harris can establish something in that first quarter.
Yeah. Agreed. You mute, Tate.
Man, I got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what both you guys did?
What's that?
You took the train. You took with each other to take the train off the tracks. I asked you about matchups with these players that's up here. What intrigues you? Is it the linebackers guarding Robinson? Because Robinson's a great pass catcher. He's an all around back. As a rookie, he should do he's probably favored to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, I would bet.
Yeah, maybe. I got a guy, but keep going.
But him and Pitts with the inside linebackers, Drake London, Joey Porter, the defense. Desmond Ridder's a young quarterback. While he's in there, do we confuse him? Do we do a little something, or we still keep it really 100% vanilla and don't even unleash 10%? What do you guys think about those things?
It's got to be vanilla because, believe it or not, from a personnel standpoint, the Atlanta Falcons look just like the San Francisco 49ers in a lot of ways. They got a good tight end like Kyle Pitts and the matches Kittle. They got an outside big old body wide receiver like Deebo Samuel with Drake London. And everybody knows the 49ers is going to run that football. They're going to run that pill. So with McCaffrey or with the backup, they run it. So, and they got Bijan Robinson, where the question is that Brock Purdy and Desmond Ridder, that's the issue. So I think the Steelers keep it vanilla, but I think they're going to show in a basic vanilla defense that they can shut down Atlanta starters on starters. I don't look for Atlanta to score. I'm just being honest, starters on starters. I don't think Atlanta gets in the end zone. Now, they might get a field goal, but I don't think they get in the end zone. That's just what I see from what Pittsburgh's defense is going to do. Pittsburgh's got a lot of defensive chess pieces that makes it ugly, man. Guys is all over the place. But I think you just might see a little bit of Alexander running a lot with that first team, and you might see Neal in the game just because the matchup issue with Pitts. But outside of that, man, I ain't worried about Atlanta. We're going to be in and out, be up 14-0, 10-0 real fast, pull the starters, and let's move on to San Francisco.
Well, I hope that you're right, Big G. I really do, because I like the sound of that. I like the games that I can just relax and watch and see who's, standing out and who's going to maybe make his 53 and not to have to worry about it, trying to come back at the end of the game. Even if it is preseason, I don't like to lose. But I agreed with everything that Tate said about the matchups he wanted to see. I do think that the Falcons are similar in their skill set with the 49ers, especially with Mariota gone and Ridder as the starting quarterback, because he can run, but he's not as mobile as Mariota was. So I would like to see – Tomlin's already said they're game planning this week. A little bit. Now, they're not going to show everything. They're not going to play their hand, but they are game planning some. So we're going to see a little bit. I think we might see a little bit of that press coverage.
Yeah.
That we've been looking for. Because if they're game planning, that's the time to do it. Everybody talks about Joey Porter Jr.'s interception on Saturday. To me, the press coverage against Stephon Diggs on that first series of the game, to me, that impressed me. That he can do that every time. That's getting interceptions can be fluky, but that press coverage, man, that's his ability, that's his wheelhouse, and that excited me.
Yeah, agreed for sure, Shannon. Tateboyfresh,
okay.
You cool?
Yeah. I think I agree with you guys that the offensive similarities and the structure of the offense is similar in what Kyle Shanahan does and Arthur Smith does.
Yeah.
They want to run the ball first and foremost.
Yep.
They got young quarterbacks in there, both in their second year, that they don't want to make mistakes. They got big play tight end with Kittle and Kyle Pitts, like you said, Big G, the comparisons are really, really quite valid. So this is a good dress rehearsal to go into that September 10th game against the 49ers.
Facts. Absolutely, man.
So before we go to break, one more thing. And we're just gonna have these guys right here. We have an image up of Braden Fuoco, Loudermilk, Armand Watts, Chandon Sullivan, Elijah Riley, and Trey Norwood. So of these guys, any of these guys need to have a big game to make the team? Any of these guys not going to make the team? What do you think about these guys in specific?
Well, we talked a little bit about this off air for sure, Tate, man. Out of those 6 guys that are pictured on my 53-man roster final cut list for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have 24 offensive players, 26 defensive players, and I have all 6 of those guys making the lineup, making the 53-man roster. I think that they've all proved it. I think specifically the defensive linemen have had outstanding preseason. I like the DB's effort, but the defensive linemen have definitely had a great preseason. So I look for all those guys to make it. But if you're saying, okay, if there's a guy that's on the fence, maybe the defensive back.
Hey,
maybe.
Shannon.
Yes.
Before Big G goes too far again, had to. You know what I had to do? Had to pump his brakes so you can get in. So what do you think, Shannon? Do you agree with him that all 6 of these guys make it?
No, there are 2 guys that I'm predicting to be cut that received quite a bit of playing time last year. One of them is Trey Norwood. Norwood, I was hoping that he had fully recovered. Once he had fully recovered from that knee injury at Oklahoma, that he would get back some of the speed he lost from his freshman and sophomore seasons in college to what he timed at, to combine. But he never has gotten his speed back. And last year he got torched. Last 2 years, actually, he got torched on some long touchdowns where he just wasn't competitive because of that lack of speed. I think there's better options this year. Elijah Riley, who can play slot or safety, just like Norwood. He's stronger, he's bigger, he's faster, and I think he's going to take Trey Norwood's position. Wow. And as I said last week, I still believe that Montravius Adams they tried him last week against the Bills at defensive end, which is his natural position, but I think it was a little too late, and I don't think he's going to make this 53-man roster.
Good call, Shannon. Good call. I can see, if any 2, I can see those 2.
So, of this list, who on this list doesn't make it?
Norwood
is all?
Yeah, I would say Norwood. For sure. If anybody doesn't make it, Norwood.
So you got Chandon Sullivan and Riley both making it?
Yeah, as far as defensive backs, yeah, definitely.
And you got sure. So the other cornerbacks, if those two make it, you obviously got Pat P.
Yep.
You got Levi Wallace.
Yep.
You got Joey Porter Jr. So that's 5 with those 2. Who's the 6th guy? Is there only 5 corners?
No, 6. James Pierre.
Yep, that's who I got. I got
James
Patrick Peterson, Levi Wallace, Joey Porter Jr., Elijah Riley, Sullivan, and James Pierre. That's my 6.
Okay, and how many safeties?
4. Minka Fitzpatrick, KZ, Neal, and Miles Kennebrew.
You agree with that, Shannon?
Let's see. Fitzpatrick, KZ, Neal, Killebrew. Man, Robinson's had a strong camp.
I like Robinson.
Huh?
I like Robinson.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's had a strong camp, and he's graded out high on special teams.
Yeah.
In both preseason games, but Killebrew is the special teams captain. He's that good at special. So Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to have to stick with 4 because remember, I consider Riley a safety cornerback hybrid. So you could get away with 4 safeties.
Yep. That's it. That's the move, Shannon.
Okay. I like what I'm hearing. So one more before we go to break. This has been chatter about this all week, right? So Kenny Pickett nicknamed his backfield Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Warren had the one big run last week against Buffalo. Yep. Everybody's saying he should be RB1. Now, so Shannon, I'm gonna come to you. Either make the case for Warren being RB1 or make the case for Najee being RB1.
Okay, first off, I do not like Thunder and Lightning. I think if anything, it should be Smash and Dash.
I like that.
That's new. Yeah, and I think that fits their styles and personalities better. I think
Thunder and Lightning was Brandon Jacobs and Tiki Barber for the Giants years ago.
Yeah.
I think that this whole discussion about Warren should be starting over Harris is ridiculous. Not taking anything away from Warren, but we got to give due respect to Najee Harris and the beating that man took, especially as a rookie.
Yep.
Playing through a foot injury with a steel plate in his shoe during the first half of last season, and then in the first half of last season, his run yard per run average was 3.3. In the second half of the season, he got it up to 3.9 by the end of the year. So he's never going to be the breakaway guy, but I could easily see him behind an improved offensive line getting a lot of those 10, 15, 18-yard runs where he punishes somebody at the line of scrimmage, stiff arms somebody, and breaks into the clear. And, I mean, that's valuable, guys. That wears down a defense.
Absolutely.
That is something that Warren is not built for. Then Warren can come in after Harris has already pounded on these guys, and he can do his thing, and that's what his specialty is. Harris is a great receiver. So's Warren. I mean, you've got 2 really good players. It's not a problem. The only way you make drama in this case is to manufacture drama. And people did that this week for clicks. And they got a lot of the community and the fan base worked up saying, oh, yeah, man, Warren might ought to be the starter. That's ridiculous. And that's my opinion. I'm happy with 1-2 punch. I'd like to see maybe a 60-40 workload and let both guys eat.
Yep, for sure. Hey, man, for all my Steeler fans out there, Steeler Nation, man, everybody's over in the live chat, just relax, man.
Yep.
Remember, Najee Harris, he is him, man. He's him all day and night. He's the guy that you want to tote the football come November and December when it gets cold and crispy up there in Pittsburgh. You know, we got to go and run into Cleveland. We got to run down to Cincinnati. He's a big, strong back that will punish most linebackers and definitely all defensive backs in the league on a one-on-one deal. Now, he might not break an 80-yarder or a 50-yarder or a 40-yarder, but I much rather would break a defense's back by having him get 12 on the first carry, 11 on the next carry, 10 on the next carry, sub in Warren, let Warren hit him for 10, and then go hit him for 8 and for 6. That's how you do it in Pittsburgh. That's how we've always done it in Pittsburgh. We're going to beat you up physically.
Yep.
So pump your brakes, all those people out there on the clickbait tip. Yeah, pump it. Tell them, Tate, pump your brakes. Najee's the guy. Warren's good. I said he's Maurice Jones-Drew, maybe part 2. He's a little bitty, strong, bowling ball type running back. But Najee's him. He's him.
I actually have Jalen Warren somewhere between Doug Martin, used to play for Tampa, and Austin Eckler.
Muscle hamster.
Yeah,
Good call, Tate. Good call.
But as far as Najee goes, man, come on, man. We already pumped the brakes. Like Steeler fans, you just getting a little bit worked up for nothing.
Yeah.
Najee's had 3 carries so far this preseason.
Yeah.
And when you think about his first year, I mean, he deserves to play with a competent offense.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think the offense may finally be competent this year.
Yep.
But his first and second season, he was the offense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had an old Big Ben just dumping it off or getting it out right away because the line was so bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they leaned on Najee a lot. The offense couldn't get any explosive plays. Last year, like Shannon said, he started with a foot injury.
Yep.
So he really wasn't himself after the break. After the bye, he averaged over 1 more yard per carry than he did the first half of the season.
Facts, Tate. Facts.
And the offense is only going to be better.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have more what's it called? Continuity, because the guys most of them have played together. This is most of their second and third year in the system. You're gonna see a whole different offense this year, man. So I like the difference. I like smash and dash. I like what Shannon said. But even though Jalen Warren is dash, the thing they both have is incredible football character from the running back position.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think that means something for the team that we're trying to build. You know what I mean? Anthony McFarland is the other guy. I mean, not saying he's not tough, but he's not cut like Najee and Jalen Warren.
No.
He'll definitely be that.
He's serviceable, though. He's serviceable.
Good.
Yeah.
He's good. I watched him his last year in Maryland almost beat Ohio State by himself.
Yeah, he was killing them.
Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. But Dwayne Haskins came through that game. Yeah, I was at that game. I think it was like 54-52. Ohio State went for 2.
Yep, and scored.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I really expect Anthony McFarland to be good, but we're going to lean on Najee Harris and Jalen Warren both. And I agree with the 60-40 split that Shannon talked about. But real quick, we're going to jump to break, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. If you listen on audio, we got to pay a couple bills. We'll be right back after these couple of messages from our advertisers. And we're back on the Pump Your Brakes podcast. Great, get it going for the second half. We're just going to rev it up a little bit, guys.
Yes, sir. Hey, Tate, that live chat is lit up over there, bro. Lit up. All y'all, please make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this algorithm going and then pass this information on to a friend. But it's lit up over there, and we appreciate it over there. When everybody rocking with us tonight.
G. If you guys see any comments that you want me to pull up, Shannon, you can pull up your own. But we appreciate everybody being here, man. But real quick, because I really feel like we got through what we had to get through pretty fast. We're gonna really spend the last part of this second half with the live chat, answer some questions maybe, and talking about some stuff off the cuff that we didn't necessarily have in our show notes. But before we get to any of that, we want Shannon to explain. Shannon has an award that he's giving away. Shannon, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about the award that you thought would be a good award? You kind of created this on your own. It's never been given by the Steel Curtain Network before, at least not the Steel Curtain Network. Maybe you guys did it for Behind the Steel Curtains back in the day. I don't know.
No, that's kind of the whole point. This time of year, I'm used to participating in multiple polls and voting and discussions about guys from training camp who exceeded expectations and who would be worthy to win a prestigious award that we had at my previous employer. Well, this year we don't have anything because we're a new entity. So I was like, I want the Steel Curtain Network to have an equivalent award that will pay recognition to a young man who has exceeded expectations at training camp. And I wanted to name it after one of my all-time favorite Steelers, a player that I have immense respect for, not for his performance, his character off the field, his hard work and his dedication to turn himself into the player he became. And so I kind of approached my colleagues with, I wanted to name the award the Brett Keisel Award. And so these awards are going to go to a pleasant surprise of training camp. Somebody who kind of, a long shot who's really earned roster consideration. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to make the final roster, but that they're in the discussion for making the final roster. Now, the person that I chose as this year's recipient is Spencer Anderson.
Yeah.
Who shares a lot of similarities with Brett Keisel, and that he was also a 7th round draft pick out of Maryland. And, you know, when he was first drafted, I said, who? And then I said, why? Because I had done a lot of evaluations, but I did not evaluate him. Now, I have complete faith in Andy Weidel because he's the king of the round bellies. And if he sees something in this kid, I got to figure out what it is. So after doing a deep dive, before I wrote the Grading the Pick article about Spencer Anderson, I found that he had been a total team player. He had played all 5 positions on that offensive line for Maryland during his tenure. He sacrificed his opportunity to maybe score higher in the draft evaluations if he would have focused on a single position. But he stood and put the team first. And that signals to me that he is incredibly versatile, more than likely ambidextrous, because he can play either side of the line.
Correct.
There's things that guys take for granted. They say, well, move him to the other side. Some guys can't do it. If you're predominant right hand, sometimes you can't work on that left side. Correct. Not if you've always played the right side. So at first, I admit, I thought, okay, I talked to somebody familiar with the Maryland program, and they told me that he could do all 5 positions functionally.
Correct.
Which is something that Kendrick Green still can't do.
You're getting out of here, bro.
Exactly. They said that he is a high character guy. He's a leadership guy. And they said that they believe that he will eventually be an NFL starter. And they believe his future position is center.
Huh.
That's intriguing because the Steelers could use a center down the line.
Yeah.
So I did a little more research, and I found out his RAS score was 9.37.
Correct. Fact.
I mean, that's elite level athleticism.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how in the world did he fall to the 7th round? Okay, he's 6'5", but he's got 32.5-inch arms.
T-Rex.
So, yeah, he's another Kendrick Green with the reach, but he has much better technique, much better footwork. He's got a great football IQ. You have to know all 5 positions.
Correct.
Big G, you know this.
Yeah,
so
correct.
We're talking about a guy who's very talented, that he had one measurable that didn't measure up, and it caused him to fall. So I think the Steelers got a steal. I think Andy Weidel has struck again because he knows the round bellies. And I am thrilled to he was the easy choice for me as the winner of the Brett Keisel Award because I do believe that he has earned a spot on this 53-man roster.
Yeah, agreed, Shannon. Without a doubt. Congratulations, man, young man. You deserve to make it. You put in a lot of work in, a lot of energy and effort. We do believe you're going to make the 53-man roster. And Shannon, I just can't even overemphasize enough how difficult it is for a guy to switch from left to right, let alone to be elite, because you can't forget that in the NFL, they're the best 1% of the 1% to make it in the NFL. So this guy's an elite athlete. And to go from left to right and play every position functionally, not just there, but play it functionally, is a skill set within itself. So I believe he's going to make it, and he could possibly one day be a starting center in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The level of just the mental part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
when you play one side to the other, Big G, you know, you play offensive line in high school and college. I played in high school, and just you learn your playbook, you learn your side.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
to go from left to right or right to left, everything flips around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything your back pedal flips around, your hand placement flips around. I mean, everything you're doing is different. So the his level of intelligence and to be able to adapt and do these things speaks a lot for itself too,
Yeah.
and the amount of physical dexterity.
Yep.
I mean, to be able to go from right to left and left to right. Hey, I think that's really overlooked by
You,
the average football fan.
you know
Yep.
what that's telling me more about the kid than anything? Outside of his intelligence to be able to understand that everything's backwards on one side to the other, it tells me that his biggest attribute is he has outstanding balance. His
Yep.
balance has got to
Yep.
be unreal because even at the tackle position with the set, you have your left hand down and you're drop kicking your left leg.
Yeah.
Right hand down, drop kicking your right leg. So that means this kid's got balance and strength in both left to right. Because also, most people don't know this. The right tackle is normally the weakest offensive lineman on the whole dang on field. The left tackle is the strongest guy. The left tackle is the stud. The right tackle is the weakest one. So for him to be able to go and say, okay, because he lined up at right, but to be all the way go back over to left, oh, he's an athlete and he's got outstanding balance.
Hey, Big G.
Balance. Yeah,
The only time I would argue with that is if you got a left-handed quarterback.
facts.
Sometimes they want that stronger tackle to be the right tackle
Yeah,
if that's his blind side. But yeah, I agree with you. Normally that's the case. Yes.
yeah.
Hey, so because we're looking for stuff down to finish up for the next 12 minutes, I'm gonna pull up this comment from Wes. What do you guys think? He said, anyone who truly believes Colbert was a great GM, go back and look at his classes. Do we think Colbert was a great GM? Go ahead, Shannon.
I got to answer this one. Wes might have been reading some of my recent stuff. It's such a breath of fresh air, guys, what Amar Khan and Andy Weidel are doing.
Yeah.
If you watch every day, you can see stuff in the tracker that the Steelers are working out this guy or that guy. They are constantly taking calls. They're making calls. They work 365 days a year to try to strengthen this roster.
Yeah.
Now, in the second half of Kevin Colbert's tenure, the last decade, let's say, he became a guy who worked up to the draft. Then he took a long vacation. And when the season started back, unless there was injuries in training camp, then he was president again. You didn't hear about the Steelers trying to reach out for anybody, to try to do anything. He become complacent. He become too comfortable in his position. He represented the Rooney's wishes. And I don't think he ever went to the Rooneys and like, guys, I think we need to be more aggressive here.
Yeah.
We've got the killer bees in their prime. And if we keep a defense that surrounding these guys, I believe that we can win a title. And then they would have every year they had an injury here or there, and they couldn't recover from it because they couldn't trade for anybody because Colbert sat on future draft capital like he was clutching his mama's pearls.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing was more valuable to him than future draft capital.
Yeah.
We've already seen Khan trade future draft capital.
Absolutely.
And then trade again to get it back.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, you can do that. There's no rule against it.
Yeah.
Khan is just younger. Andy Weidel is younger. They understand the modern way of roster building. It had passed Kevin Colbert by. I have nothing but immense respect for him. He's an all-time Steelers legend. But the truth is, the last 10 years, he was complacent, and the game passed him by.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going real quick. To Wes's comment right there, I mean, I think he drafted Najee Harris and Kenny Pickett both. They're both on the roster. So I just wanted to just clarify
Facts.
that.
Facts.
But I think Kevin Colbert, I think he was – it's kind of like the discussion you have, Big G, and, you know, we do other podcasts. The basketball discussion, the GOAT in basketball.
Yeah.
It depends on the era that you're in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jordan definitely was the GOAT of his era, and LeBron's been the GOAT of this era.
Yeah.
I think Steph Curry's right behind him, but Kevin Colbert was from the old school where they did things different. Now, yeah, I do like the new wave, the analytical GM, and you know, get all these pieces and make the salary cap work like Omar Khan does. It's great.
Yeah.
15 years ago, that's not what they were doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I think Kevin Colbert was great for his time.
Yeah.
I think he's a Hall of Fame general manager. Go ahead.
But over the second half of his tenure, he quit making connections. If you look back at the trades the Steelers did make, they all were incredibly one-sided. He would catch a team desperate to move somebody, and he would take advantage of that situation. You could do that once, but that team's going to be like, I ain't going to deal with him in the future because it was one-sided. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a little. You got to create and foster relationships, and he did not have that. There was a certain segment, if you listen to the other teams talk, their fan bases and even their front offices, they considered the Steelers and Kevin Colbert and the Steelers front office aloof.
Yeah.
I mean, they did not want to deal with the Steelers. The Steelers were the last team that they wanted to deal with, like trading with a team in your division. That's how a lot of teams looked at dealing with Kevin Colbert.
Yeah.
It wasn't that it was a different style back in, yes, but you could still cultivate relationships. And that was his weak spot. And that's where he failed to keep connections that would have helped him in the second half of his tenure.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Gavin's question, what were they doing 15 years ago? I think 15 years ago, I mean, you sent your scouts out, you listen to them, you watch film, and like now it's a lot of analytics. It's a lot of different. I mean, the whole even though they suck most of the time, Pro Football Focus really helped change the game too. I mean, as much as we talk about them, a lot of football guys use those raw analytics and raw numbers to figure out what they want to do, at least to an assist to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah. You know,
that wasn't available 15 years ago. Go ahead, Big G.
You know, the biggest thing about what Kevin Colbert and people got to understand and realize that, and the difference is that Kevin Colbert hit it out of the park when he drafted his franchise quarterback. That's the difference. That most of the time, in the new age, they're always trying to make deals and stuff like that because it's what have you done for me lately? But 15, 20 years ago, it's the
NBA, NFL.
Correct. 15, 20 years ago, when you landed your franchise quarterback and you landed him on, you know that you were competitive and could complete for the playoffs as well as the Super Bowl every freaking season. So you try to add pieces around that franchise guy, but sometimes those pieces just don't fit. And your franchise quarterback centric all the time versus like saying, okay, I got to build the trenches up on both sides of the ball. I gotta look to get some defensive backs because we got to shut the other opposing team's offense down. Now, when you got your franchise quarterback, you know, it's almost like the Mahomes mentality in Kansas City. They believe without a shadow of a doubt they're in every freaking game that they play just because they got that dude playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what, Steeler fans? We had that dude for a long time. Except for the last 2 or 3 years of his career, Big Ben handled his business. You know, so he was out there getting victories with games we wasn't supposed to win. We won because of Ben. You know,
hey, Big G.
Yes, sir.
I hope, I know you do too, that he done it one more time.
Oh yeah, before
with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he gave us a Christmas present and a goodbye present with KP8. Man, I think he did. I think he hit it. I think he hit it out of the park one more time. So if anything, Colbert can be known as understanding and knowing how to get a quarterback because I think he did it twice.
And if he did that, you got to give him credit. I mean, and then he traded for Minka Fitzpatrick.
Absolutely. Smart.
I mean, I think Miami thought like, oh, we will get a top 5 pick. Being hurt, and he traded for him first week after Ben was hurt.
Absolutely, Tate.
Yeah.
He drafted TJ Watt. Come on,
but
bro.
Tate, look how one-sided that turned out to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He would find a team or a franchise and a GM that was wounded, and he would take advantage of it. I give him credit for that. But he just couldn't do the normal everyday transactions and conversations, phone calls. He didn't have those connections. But I'm not taking away from his legacy.
I think that was whoever Miami's general manager was. That was their fault because they thought they were going to get a high pick because Big Ben was hurt, and Tomlin did one of his best coaching jobs. There's nothing to show for it, But he took Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, and was 8-8.
And got some victories.
And really, they were 8-5, and then ended with a 3-game losing streak.
Yep. Could have made the playoffs. Definitely could have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Never doubt Tomlin.
I agree.
That's a whole. We could have a whole show about that.
Yeah.
We could have a whole show about how great Mike Tomlin actually is.
Yep.
So this because there'll be a lot of Pittsburgh fans to be on some other as far as Mike Tomlin. I'll be wanting to tell them all the time, man, go kick rocks, man. Mike Tomlin is a top 5 coach ever. So so get up out of there. Tell him, Tate, get the kicking. So go kick rocks, man. You up out of here, man.
But okay, so man, it's a good time. We're gonna finish a little early there. We're not coming down the home stretch trying to get to the end. I want to just while we're here, congratulate my brother-in-law Dennis Mitchell. He's Sha'Carri Richardson's coach. She's the fastest woman in the world right now. She won 100 meters in the world championships. So shout out to my brother-in-law. Congratulations, Dennis. Be to see you at Christmas time, bruh.
Yeah.
But what's up? What's up, Shannon? What you got going on, man?
Well, like I said, tomorrow on the Steel Curtain Network, be sure to check out the article about Brett Keisel Award and wrote some of the stuff I discussed here on the podcast. But there's some other tidbits of information in the article, so be sure to check that out. And again, just always appreciate our faithful community and the support. And we can't do none of it without you guys. So again, thank you.
For sure.
Big G. Ain't there a contest for Steel Curtain Network we need to talk about?
I got it. I'm coming with it.
All right
now. First of all, once again, thank you all the fans in the live chat. We appreciate you. Please make sure you continue to rock with me and Tateboyfresh as we carry this thing over to the Homies podcast on Fridays. We're going to get it in with B-Dirt and Payday, do our thing round robin style with the AFC North for sure. And check out, we got a little special something coming off that Homies after party. You're going to hear about it real soon. The overtime going on with the Homies because we got another live podcast coming to spin off that's going to be live on all those social media links that you see across the board. And please, don't forget to check me, Tateboyfresh, my brother Mod out on the Know It Alls podcast on Sundays. Man, we getting that thing in the same way, doing that X breakdown and all whatever else on all sports. So please. But however, I was given a special assignment by Jeff Hartman. Jeff, thank you. Oh, yeah, I can't forget about me and Tateboyfresh on the Cavs podcast, That Rather Cavaliers, and the young fellow, the little fellow, Relly Hall, man. So check that out for sure on Fans First Sports Network. And while I'm at it, I got to plug myself. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Big G got a college football, college sports podcast coming on Fans First Sports Network. Thank you guys over at Fans First Sports Network for giving me an opportunity. You're going to hear us live on Wednesdays. It's coming at you real soon, man. So we got a big-time college sports program coming. However, I got given a special assignment by Jeff Hartman. I got to make sure I take care of business and spread this to all our fans. Listen, we started from nothing. We started from the bottom. Now we're here. We're here as far as Fans First Sports Network, Steel Curtain Network. So we want to do an appreciation thing to our fans and all the people out there. So as of today, this announcement comes from the leadership of Fans First Sports Network per Jeff Hartman. Attention, sports fans. Are you a fan of an NFL team? Would you love to attend one of your favorite team's Week 1 games? Well, guess what? You're in luck. Fans First Sports Network is giving away 4 free tickets for Week 1 of an NFL game, your choice up to $5,000. The rules to enter this contest is very simple. Step 1, go to contest.fansfirstsports.com and fill out an appropriate information. Step 2, find us on Facebook and like our page. And that's it. Once you've done all that, you've been officially registered to win 4 free tickets to any Week 1 NFL game. What are you waiting for? Go enter your shot at the action and see your favorite team in action. Contest ends on September 4th of 2023, and you guys go out there and get it because we're giving away 4 free tickets to whatever team you like. First game up to $5,000. So we appreciate you guys out there that's been rocking with us. When we transferred over from the BTSC to SCN with Fans First Network, and this is our way to giving back. We appreciate you guys out there and Fans First Sports Network, Steel Curtain Network.
Mm-hmm. Repeat the website for Wes.
For sure. Contest, CONTEST.fansfirstsports.com. That's all you got to do is go there and fill out the appropriate information.
Yep. Say it one more time, G, just because we got time.
Got you. Go to contest, CONTEST.fansfirstsports.com and fill out the appropriate information.
Good stuff. And Afton asked earlier in the thread, she said, what's the name of it? I know she was talking about the new show, but it's going to be, if you were talking about that Afton, it's going to be Homies Overtime.
Yes,
what we're going to do is do our regular Homies on Friday night, and then we're going to transition. It's going to be a new YouTube channel available. It's going to be on the FFSN channel.
Yeah.
And we're going to go overtime. We're going to talk about more than Steelers in the AFC North. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to talk about football, some college football. We're going to listen to Pay and B Dirt's terrible fantasy and betting advice. Like we don't know what we might talk about.
Yeah.
But I guarantee one thing I do know is don't listen to them guys.
Yeah. After the Big G College Football Show, we got a vote on it. We got a vote on it, and it's going to be called Level Up. The name of the show is called Level Up. LEVELUP. Level Up. So that's what we're going to do.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's gonna be off the hook. It's gonna be off the hook. I got a couple new podcast hosts coming in the chamber. So it'll be Big G like you see on Steel Curtain Network. But man, I got some guys sitting in the chamber and they coming. So we ready to go, man. They got Big G mentality too, man. So it's gonna be off the chain over there and level up.
Too much of you talking about yourself in third person all the time.
That's all right, bro. That's what we do around here.
Hey, you should call it Big G Goes to College. Again.
Big G been to college, man. It's time to do something different.
Shannon, stop encouraging to talk about yourself in third person.
Hey, you about to get the kick rocks, bro. You go kick rocks, man.
Well, you know, I never hesitated getting it to myself.
Yeah, Payow.
But what you need to do, Big G, is take a walk before we get out of here.
You told me to spin the block, bro. Wow.
I told Big G to spin the block. Hey, but thanks everybody for joining us. Be sure to check out all the Steel Curtain Network for all your Steeler content, along with all the other great platforms and channels you can listen to. The audio channels, the audio shows. Jeff Hartman's Let's Ride every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's the one I listen to most. Bad Language. They play the upload the Homies on audio. If you miss YouTube, they up here Shannon's The Hangover. Everything you see on YouTube, you can get on audio, and you can get more on audio. So check us out. But Until Friday for me and Big G. Until Monday on the Hangover for Shannon. We appreciate everybody for joining us in the live chat. And we about to be out. Shannon, take us home, bro.